the Second Amendment, full and first. I mean, that's the first group that they sued. There's 10 families in this lawsuit against the gun manufacturer. The 2 families finally sued the school system for negligence, but 10 of them are going after the gun owners, and they've set up their own another website besides this one to just go after gun control. So their focus has been gun control. But when somebody has no respect for individual liberties on the Second Amendment, they're going to have no respect for the First Amendment either. These people are authoritarians, and they have no respect for the rule of law. When you have a situation like this, I'm sorry for Sarah Brady's loss when her husband, Jim Brady, got shot.
But that's not our fault. That's not our fault. That the guy that was having dinner with the Bushes the night before shot her husband in the head?
But if the way you deal with your grief is to go out and try to punish innocent people by taking their liberties, if the way you try to deal with your grief is to go out and try to destroy the fundamental legal structure of our country, for which people died to establish the fact that we had a country that was based on individual liberty. If you want to try to destroy the foundations of our country, to try to go after innocent people's rights, to try to make it worthwhile, to try to make you feel better about your personal loss, I'm sorry, I have no respect for people like that.
Well, I mean, I've got stacks of news here today. I mean, there's so much news I'll cover in the third hour and take calls. It's just that this is a big deal because everywhere there's attacks on the First Amendment right now. David, speak to that. I mean, they're moving full force globally, not just here. Well, yeah. Zuckerberg met a month ago with the top communist Chinese internet czar and said, "I'm learning how to censor." And then he doesn't support.
He doesn't want a guy building a house near his backyard. Zuckerberg, he's like all up in arms that this guy is going to build a house near his
he
backyard,
also doesn't let people post images of Muhammad now on Facebook, though he says, I am Charlie, I am Spartacus, I am Charlie Hebdo, but no, he's not.
They have bumped up the cyber law that they were using to go after hackers. They bumped that up. They had a lot of things that were misdemeanors. They've now made felonies. They've tried. They want to invoke the RICO statute against that. They're coming back with CISPA again. They've got the trade treaties, the transatlantic, trans-Pacific partnerships that are going to be used for copyright to shut down free speech. That's one of the things that they're going to do with it. So it's multiple ways that they're coming after us. If you look at you've got the FCC that is now saying that they want to control the internet. Of course, they're going to come at it from the standpoint of net neutrality because they've taken a poll. They found out the majority of people want net neutrality. So they'll
just call it net neutrality.
Yeah, they'll use that to get. They've been on both sides of this issue. They want control of the internet. That's what this is all about. They could care less about net neutrality, and they'll change it in a heartbeat if they want to. But at the same time, Alex, we've got a report coming out tomorrow on the Nightly News about drones. And we had a whistleblower send us a Freedom of Information request that he got. They are coming, the FAA is trying to shut down all private ownership of drones in the same way they want to keep you from taking pictures of buildings.
Well, I always said this would happen. They're just saying remote control airplanes, toys, you name it. And then I was out with Buckley flying a drone with my son. We got him for Christmas. It was like a $300 one. And I said, I bet, because this thing's GPS controlled, it has to program and get connected before it flies and has stabilizers. And I said, I bet in the future, Buckley, in fact, I want to do a whole report on this, that it's pre-programmed that it can't fly by...
They already have that. They already have.
I was about to say.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, no. They just did an update with this company last week, was in the news, so it can't fly to the White House. Yeah. It has thousands of other sites.
Yeah,
so this is the pre-programming into our phones, into our cars, into all this, quote, smart tech to control and suppress us. So they can have big, giant drones surveilling us and little drones, but then we can't have little drones for what we want to do.
They put a 1.5-mile radius no-fly zone into their firmware for the little drone. And they said there's already a lot of other sensitive areas that are in there that you can't fly it near.
But see, there I am saying, I bet they do this, and it's already been done.
But the government uses it to spy on farmers, and that's okay, because it's the government. Doesn't matter, doesn't...
Oh, yeah. The Bureau of Land Management...
It only matters about what their supposed rights are.
The MRAPs that they're handing out to all the police departments.
Now they're using them as ambulances.
Right. Supposedly, yeah.
The tank, we come in peace.
Just as they did that with the MRAPs, they're now doing that with the Predator drones, giving them to not just Homeland Security, but they're giving them to the Bureau of Land Management.
Which they admit they're using to surveil the farmers. Yeah. Oh, you built a barn you weren't supposed to. You've got a wetland that's a puddle.
That's right. See if they can find a mineral resource that you can get a senator like Harry Reid to fence to a multinational corporation, and then they can go onto your property and look for more detail to see if they can get you on some kind of an environmental regulation or something else where they can.
Or you've got a gas can sitting out.
Yeah, give you excessive fines and basically take your property. Look at that pond in Montana the guy built, and the EPA came in and started fining him $75,000 per day, and he didn't have any water that was crossing anything on his property. It certainly didn't cross state lines, so the EPA shouldn't have been involved in the first place, in my opinion, as I read the Constitution, but it didn't even cross his property lines. He dug out a hole, put rainwater in it, had a pond, and they tried to fine him $75,000.
And everybody does that. It's called a cattle pond.
Yeah. And this guy had cleared it with the state and local people.
Well, you know, that's why he got in trouble, is that's how it went in the database.
Right.
You just got to do it.
But now they're going to have the database where they go out using these things that are truly drones, because a true drone is totally autonomous. It's not.
It will make the decisions that that's a new pond.
And this is what they're going to do with these vaccine things too, where they want you to opt out of the vaccine, get your written permission, your philosophical objection to it.
They're going to use that as a roadmap of the persecution.
We're going right. We know exactly where to go now to inject your kids. So it's all getting lined up.
It's like gun registration always leads to confiscation.
Yep.
And these waiver forms turn into the blueprint. We're going to come back with more on the First Amendment. Your phone call. Stay with us.
This hour brought to you by InfidelBodyArmor.com. When it hits the fan, don't be left without the body armor that will save your life. With prices starting at just $374.99 and ships free. Get yours at InfidelBodyArmor.com. Just won't quit.
Hi, Ted Anderson with Midas Resources. Is it time to convert paper 401ks and IRAs to solid gold and silver yet? Get our 10 Reasons book free. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
Silver has always been nature's very own antibiotic, and only one system allows you to generate an endless supply of natural silver solutions. SilverLungs.com. You'll find no wild claims or pseudoscience, just a lifetime of nano-sized pure silver solutions. The Silver Lungs generator allows you to make your own, so stop paying for silver solutions. The unique lung delivery system targets respiratory infections where other silver solutions simply cannot reach. See the Silver Lungs generator and lung delivery system at SilverLungs.com. That's SilverLungs.com.
The month of February is all about Valentine's Day. Big heart-shaped boxes filled with delicious candy. What if we, the Patriots, hijacked Valentine's Day and instead made it about human liberty and individual empowerment? I'm all about human potential. I'm all about the individual being empowered. The establishment is the opposite. That's why they spike our water with fluoride and GMO, estrogen mimickers, and the rest of the garbage. InfoWars is striking back in the month of February with Human Empowerment Month. How we can come together and win the human race. And to celebrate the kickoff of Human Empowerment Month, we're slashing prices on InfoWarsLife.com products like Super Male and Super Female Vitality. The sale is only running for the month, 20% off, and there's a lot of other powerful specials at InfoWarsLife.com. InfoWarsLife.com, celebrating human potential in the month of February. Visit InfoWarsLife.com to find this special and many others in the month of February. Again, InfoWarsLife.com or 888-253-3139.
Usually, the older one gets, the less you are able to absorb amino acids and the less you are able to repair the 100 trillion cells of your body. As a result, you'll have less energy, your tissues will shrink, and you'll become wrinkled. An older person will typically injure more easily and heal more slowly. Not fun. However, if you can consume a protein powder that is easier to absorb, then you may be able to gain back some strength, muscle, and speed of recovery. One World Whey is a highly digestible whey protein powder that may be the perfect answer for you.
My name is Errol. I'm 74 years old. You know, the taste of One World Whey is amazing. I play pickleball, and since taking One World Whey and your trace mineral supplement, I have more energy and recover faster from my working out. I used to take another grass-fed whey protein powder, but now I'm getting much better results using One World Whey.
Call 888-988-3325. That's 888-988-3325. Or visit oneworldway.com.
Before you slip into
a Prozac haze, I'd like to add some fluoride to some GMO poisons. Oh, Brian Williams is a hero. Oh, we love Brian Williams. The key is acting stupid.
The whole album.
I'm
Alex Jones.
I do that totally impromptu. That's why it's so horrible. That's why it's absolutely horrible. The days and filled with pain.
And close me in your
I think Morrison and the Misfits singer, Glenn Danzig, are your two favorite ones that you like to parody.
Well, you know, they all sound like Elvis.
Yeah, and Johnny Cash, I guess.
Yeah, I like Johnny Cash, I like Elvis, and even if I don't like the lyrics of some of these guys, it's hard to not listen to.
So you're an Elvis guy, not a Beatles guy.
I have, well, no, I love the Beatles too.
Yeah.
I love the Beach Boys. You know, John Lennon's, people can debate it, but I've been told directly, John Lennon's favorite band was the Beach Boys.
Wow. Well, they have the best harmonies.
Yeah, you can really hear the influence on John Lennon. Okay, I want to go to calls. I want to just keep you guys with us into the next hour. We're going to go to Brenton, who's been holding for an hour. We're going to go to Ben and Pharaoh and Lewis and AD and others about the First Amendment. I do want to segue out of just what's happened to InfoWars, because it's an ongoing thing where I showed that Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, I guess, Gazette article where they had to retract that I told the guy to go kill 3 cops. And I told him, I'm going to sue you. We've got the computer now from the police, you know, the records. He was on our website saying he wanted to come after me and get me. He had nothing to do with me. How dare you say that? And so they had to retract. So then when I put the article up that they retracted, they did a copyright claim saying I can't show their article.
Yeah.
I mean, this is insane.
We're going to write a bunch about you, but then you can't show it. This is an interesting article. This guy was creating fake news, and he wanted to get on your show, actually. That was his big goal with this thing called the jet-setting terrorist. I don't even know if you looked at this.
But he wasn't successful.
He wasn't successful. I think somebody probably looked at it and said, oh, this looks like BS, and we passed on it. And but it's just interesting how, you know, these guys are allowed to say whatever they want. MSNBC comes and says, you're not making bombs, you're making bombers, which is even worse.
Well, what this guy wanted to do is like Cass Sunstein, and Drudge has linked to this article, how the left-wing activists manipulated the news to spread his message. That's how they infiltrate alternative media to try to discredit it with disinformation.
Right.
And Paul Watson is trying to police this as a one-man crew, and he's doing a great job overall, but I think sometimes he goes too extreme towards not questioning, like the Charlie Hebdo. I don't think that was staged, but there was some evidence that was being manipulated. Paul doesn't think any of it was staged. And I'm not attacking Paul. I'm saying I disagree with some of what he's doing. He disagrees with some of what I'm doing. People always ask me, though, why'd your reporter say this or why'd they say that? I try to hire smart people that are free thinkers, that are researching things, and then we're not all going to agree.
And why can't we ask a question out loud and go, what about this? And let other people debate it and put their 2 cents in. And then we just have an open society where we get to question things and go, well, maybe the sky isn't blue. Maybe it's actually green. You know, okay.
You know, I want to invite this Posner guy on before this deteriorates, because if he gets his back up and stuff,
yeah.
I mean, I guess that's, you know, I'll be his Huckleberry.
There you go.
Knight, I've been ranting. Anything else you want to add before we go to break?
Well, I think it's interesting. Back in September, you had Wolfgang Halbig on, and he was talking about the fact that the FBI reported that there were no murders in Newtown. And he said he called the FBI office, and they said, well, we were asked not to put that on our statistics.
And then they spun it like we made it up because the FBI responded later. I mean, we just...
you know, there's a lot of stuff that is very, very, very suspicious about this. And I got to say that when it comes to 9/11, some of the most ardent people investigating the government's official stories are people who lost family members there, because they want to get to the bottom of it. And if they don't want to question some of these anomalies here, if they just want to come after people who do investigation, if they come after the company to sue them, that makes me question the motives of the families, because from the very beginning, this looked fishy. We all said it.
Yeah, they have no right to blame Bushmaster for what happened. I mean, blame the fact that the guy was on drugs.
Yeah.
I mean, psychotropics are directly linked. The insert says it can make you mass murder. Third hour coming up.
If it was even a real guy.
Maybe it was an Easter bunny.
Yeah.
When cells become toxic, they die early and aging sets in. No one has put together a formula that focuses directly on brain health, nerve growth factors, and optimizing your cellular energy at the same time. Just one of the key compounds, BioPQQ, is backed by major clinical studies. You want the best that's out there at the lowest price anywhere? We now have the synergistic solution. Secure your DNA force today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139.
The average person's life is filled with unexpected challenges. Unlock the energy it takes to defeat these daily beasts with Super Male or Super Female Vitality, specifically designed to assist the body in regulating proper hormone balance to create superior vitality in males and females. Supercharge and conquer your world at InfoWarsLife.com or call 188-253-3139.